Dude, farting in school is like the end of the world when it happens, because everyone's done it, I assume, and at least been caught by one person. And yeah, that's like the end of the world when it happens. You're like, oh my god, this is the last day I'm on this earth. I farted in school and
10th
someone
grade.
heard it.
10th grade.
You farted that late into school? You farted and someone heard it?
I was in my biology class, and I was tired. And I yawned, and the extra intake of air pushed the extra, air out of me. What's worse was the teacher was sitting on my desk. And
why was you sitting on your desk?
It was a he.
Okay, why was he sitting on your desk?
He's just talking about like biology, and then like a low, really quiet.
Ew.
And then someone like looked around and they're like, "Did somebody fart?"
All right. Let's fucking do this. Welcome, everybody. I didn't peek this time. Did you see that? I didn't peek it. Welcome to the tentatively titled Stinky Boys Show. I am Nathan, also known as Fright Shark. I don't have a funny joke for my Twitter account today, so I'm just gonna let Jeff introduce himself.
I'm Jeff. I am JFman on Twitter. This podcast is called the Stinky Boy Podcast, but we shower. I actually showered before I came over here, so neither of us are stinky.
No, I'm not stinky. I mean, I didn't take a shower because I just got home from work, but I'm not stinky. Jeff is the creator of the Big Nutella tweet. This is one of my favorite tweets ever.
Big Nutella.
Jeff, I have a question for you today that I want you to think about and answer. It is a would you rather.
Okay.
So, it's about superpowers. Would you rather have the power of invisibility, except sometimes, and this is an unpredictable thing, sometimes someone can just see your dick. Like, sometimes only your dick is visible. But only for a little bit, and you can't ever tell when it's going to happen, so that's the one option. Or, would you rather have the power of flight, but every time you landed, you shit yourself? And the amount of time you spend flying directly affects how badly you shit yourself. So, like, if you just pop off the ground real quick and hover and then land, you just, like, let out a fart or something. But if you're, like, traveling city to city, you're going to shit yourself as soon as you land. Which would you rather have?
I'd go with the invisibility thing.
You know, I would, too. I'd like to hear your reason.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to be how does the invisibility work? Does it work over the clothes, or do I have to be naked?
No, it works over the clothes. It's one of those things where, like, anything that you touch, you can turn invisible as long as you're touching it. So it would apply to your clothes, would be invisible when you went invisible. But it's just that it so happens sometimes your dick is just visible. Like, your dick doesn't apply to that rule for some reason. Not your balls either. Literally, it's just your dick.
Oh, man.
So it's just really weird, a dick hanging in the atmosphere for a couple seconds, maybe.
I'd probably be concentrating really hard, and that wouldn't be flattering. But I mean, also someone's just going to be like, did someone just see that dick?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
You'd probably scare a lot of people. Like, think it's a ghost dick.
It's a ghost dick criminal. That's what they'd call me.
Yeah.
I would have to commit crime. Well, technically I would be committing a crime because I'd be showing people my dick. But
right.
Yeah, I'd have that. And I would pick that power over the flying and shit, even though flying would be absolutely amazing.
Well, here's the thing, and we've had our group of friends, we have the discussion about, everyone does. We have the discussion about superpowers all the time. Myself and a couple other people have determined that invisibility is the superior superpower to all others. Just because, like, yeah, if you can fly, you can get somewhere really quick. But if you're invisible, you can just hop on any mode of transportation you want without paying for it. It'll take longer, but it's still pretty convenient because then you can also be invisible and do other things. But then the other weird trade-off about being invisible is, could you be invisible? Well, it's another interesting question. Could you be invisible and not commit crimes? I mean, I'd at least steal a bunch of money from myself.
Yeah, I would do that too. I would absolutely do that.
It's tough because, like, well, because invisibility isn't really a power you can use for good, really.
Mm-mm.
It's just a power of convenience and kind of fucking with people and getting whatever you want. And I admit right now, I've read enough superhero comics and seen enough movies. I don't want to be a hero. I just want a superpower. I'm not going to be a villain either. Like, I'm not going to be killing people. I will absolutely be committing larceny and, like, Grand Theft Auto and squatting. I could handle someone seeing my dick every now and then. The only people who would know, which obviously if I knew that sometimes my dick would be visible, I wouldn't go invisible in front of my friends.
Yeah.
Because, like, I would tell you, hey, I have the ability to turn invisible, except sometimes you can see my dick, and that's it. And I would show you for long enough that wouldn't happen. I'd turn invisible, I'd come back. So see, I can be invisible. And then I would never be invisible in front of you.
What if that one time that you did it...
My dick's just visible already? Like, I didn't know.
See? You didn't see my dick. Actually...
I saw your dick.
I saw your dick.
The whole time. Instantly, all I saw was your dick. It was like I transformed into a dick. And then back.
What if... just a little addendum to that. When you went invisible, you didn't know, like, you couldn't see your dick.
Oh, like, I didn't know when people could see my dick?
You had to, like, hear someone gasp or say something about your dick, and that's when you knew. But if you looked down, you didn't see your dick. You thought you were all invisible. So, like, when you started out with the invisibility...
Oh, you didn't think that people could see your dick?
Yeah. From the very beginning, you didn't even think about...
Fuck yeah, I'm invisible! And, like, you're wondering why people are always scared, like, ooh, did they see me move that thing? No, they're scared because they saw a ghost dick for a split second.
They saw a ghost dick open the fridge door and close it.
That ghost dick is using the telephone.
This is very weird. But like I was saying earlier, that trade-off almost doesn't match the shitting yourself of flying, because if I had the ability of flight, I would fly everywhere. I would fly for hours on end. And if that translated to the amount of strain that the amount of whatever that I burned flying,
right,
went to how much that I soiled myself, I would die. That's how much I would fly.
Oh, I would absolutely be in the same boat.
Especially if it's like the same boat as the invisibility power, and I didn't know that would happen.
Oh, like the first time you flew somewhere significant?
The first time I fly somewhere, and it's just for like a minute, and then I like land near my house, and I just like let out like this huge fart, and I'm just like, oof.
Like you fly from your work to your house.
Weird. Yeah, I was like, I ate something weird.
Like, oh yeah, you must have had some dairy.
Yeah,
but lactose intolerance.
Yeah. But then if I went to like
New York.
New York, yeah. Exactly. And then I just like landed, and
then
I just like,
yeah, it would be, and it would be really devastating the first time that it happened. But then you'd also be like, is that just a one-time thing? And then the next time you tried it would happen again. The thing about the flying, if I wasn't biased towards invisibility, whereas I was already going to pick it, I would almost say that flying in that situation is the better choice, only because you can't prepare for your dick to be visible to people. You can prepare for shitting yourself.
I was constructing a fly bag, quote unquote.
Yeah, you get a fly bag. It's a bag you strap on yourself when you fly.
You wear it, and the backpack contains, there's some toilet paper, there's Depends,
right,
and there's fiber bars.
And then here's another thing. Well, there's another stipulation to the flying, and that is that it doesn't matter if you don't eat before you fly. Shit's gonna materialize and then come out of you.
Well, as long as it's not enough to kill me.
No, it'll never be enough to kill you, and it's not gonna like hurt. It's just that you uncontrollably shit as soon as you hit the ground. But then there's other loopholes. You know how much I love finding loopholes in things in my own situations. The loophole for flying and shitting yourself is you have to kind of assume that you have the power of like just hovering. You can stop right before you hit the ground, make sure you're near a bathroom, hover into the bathroom, land on the toilet, then you're home free. Unless you shit way too much for a conventional toilet, and then you're not in a good spot. But it's a learning experience. Just like having your dick sometimes show up, you have to know, don't ever be invisible in front of people who know about my ability. Don't ever turn back, like don't ever become visible again until you're well out of the area, just in case someone saw your dick. Just like that with flying, you have to learn over time, like, okay, if I fly this far, I shit this much. And so if you know you're going to have to fly somewhere, you make shorter trips. Or not shorter trips, but you take breaks. You know? I'm flying to, like, I'm flying, like, the north, like, Maine. I'm stopping in, like, Philadelphia, Trenton, New Jersey, New York City, Boston, and then I'll go to Maine. That way I can take controllable, non-devastating shits when I land. Or if you have to fly a long distance, just be ready to hold that flush button, you know? Hold the flush lever down.
No. You know what?
Okay.
I would, this would be my flight suit.
Would it just be a toilet?
You know,
portable toilet?
Like those old-timey pajamas, like the red pajamas,
yeah.
the full suit.
With the flat butt?
Butt flap. Yeah, I would cut off the butt flap so it's just my butt is exposed. And I'd wear a mask.
So
I would fly, land, and if I was in an area I hated, I would just immediately start flying again.
Anywhere in New Jersey. Anywhere in New Jersey, you just shit and keep going. So what you just did is you turned either of those situations into a public nudity thing. No matter what, something on you that shouldn't be in public is going to be seen. And now you're shitting in public.
And it looks like I'm shitting so hard that I'm flying because of it.
I would take a tour. I would take a tour, and you know what the tour would be? It would be all of my ex-girlfriends. Right into their front yard. I'd make sure I'd call them before I got there. I'd be like, I'll be there. Look outside.
Drink a lot of water, because you're going to have to fly around the world a couple times.
Yeah, and I'd just land, and I'd shit, and I'd look right in their face. I'd look her right in the face, and then as soon as I was done, I'd just lift off and fly again. Fly away with my butt flap open. That'd be bad. Superpowers
I'd make it like, I'd wear like the leather motorcycle gear, but I'd cut the butt out, so someone would just think that I'm like a really gay superhero or something.
Ooh.
But no, I'm disgusting, actually.
I'm always a fan of utility superpowers more than, like, fighting superpowers. Like, having awesome strength would be cool, but then I'd be, like, what would I do with that in my normal life? I would lift a lot of things that didn't really need to be lifted. Like, I just lift cars up and stuff.
You could work at, like, an auto body shop.
Yeah, but that sounds boring as fuck.
Yes.
Like, I wouldn't, yes. I don't know if I would be able to live, like, a super fulfilling life. Like, if I could be invisible, I could probably have the best life. If I could fly, I'd have a really exciting life. Because, like, even if I just shit myself every time I landed, I'd have a really exciting life, and I'd have something to talk about. The fact that not only can I fly, but I uncontrollably shit as soon as I land. And people will be like, oh, can you fly to my house? I'd be like, open your bathroom door so I can hover in and shit. Because I have to fly, I have to shit as soon as I land. So, like...
It's like, or dig a really big hole in your backyard.
Yeah, do you have a ditch or a trench anywhere that no one can see my butt from? But yeah, so I like utility powers, but it's like, what...
This is a gross episode.
It's a lot of shitting, and it's okay.
Just keep going with what you were saying.
What other superpowers would actually improve your life? Because there's certain things like super strength, not really always going to help your life out. I mean, yeah, you could enter, like, strongman competitions and be great at it. You can enter a CrossFit competition and just kill it all day. But, like, would that really be a great thing to do?
The only thing that I can think about that could be particularly beneficial to your life is, like, the super advanced healing factor.
I would love to be able to heal, and I would use that as a party trick. I would cut my arms off.
I don't know if it goes that far.
I'd jump off a roof on my head.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it might, but... I don't think jumping off a roof on your head, that would help.
If Wolverine can get shot in the head and be fine, I can jump off a roof.
He also has, like, metal.
Yeah.
His bones are made out of metal. So
I know.
So his skull stops it.
Yeah, I know. What were you saying? Keep going.
I mean, if you were going to jump off a building and you had the advanced healing factor, like... your head would get crushed, and I'm assuming that your brain is the part that knows your body can heal that much.
What if it's just a thing in your cells? What if it's just your body cells? What if all your cells can repair themselves?
I don't know if that's going to translate itself into, like, your memory.
I don't care.
You're going to be like, why am on ground?
I don't fucking care about my memory if I can heal that. If I can jump off a building and be fine... Who gives a shit about my memory? Yeah, I'll wake up.
I guess you'll start a new life after that.
Yeah,
You'll
exactly.
have to.
I'll move from town to town, jumping off roofs until I circle back to my hometown. One time I'm going to hit it, and I'm going to bring
Your
back
face
all my
feels
memories.
differently each time.
Yeah, that way no one ever recognizes me, and they just think that there's just a string of people jumping off of roofs in the country, and then getting up and walking away.
The bodies keep disappearing.
What if... Okay, what other things, like... What are the worst superpowers, in your opinion?
The worst, do I have to make some up, or do I have,
No, just
existing?
Yeah, well-known superpowers that people have had that are just dumb. Like, I'll give one, heat vision. Or, like, laser vision.
That's cool, though.
That's a combat power, but it's not really great.
You could cook.
It's super destructive.
That's true.
Like, you couldn't use it in anything except I want to kill this person that I'm fighting.
Jubilee's powers from X-Men. She could shoot fireworks out of her hands.
Right. That's kind of a stupid power. God, you'd be the laughingstock of people with superpowers if that was your power.
Her powers were so bad that it took so long for them to find, a good writer to make her powers
To make
useful.
the story arc where the 4th of July was going to be ruined unless Jubilee could make it out to the National Harbor.
Yeah, basically.
But then it rains. How's she going to shoot fireworks in the rain? So there's a lot of problems. And then
Under
they get
an umbrella.
Storm comes in, and it's like, I'll get rid of the rain. And so Storm's useful finally. And then she can shoot her fireworks up.
Storm is, the most useful one. She's, the most powerful one.
She uses this stupid-ass power she has in a cool way. So I guess I give her a pass on that. Because if I could control the weather enough that I could fly with it, that would be pretty awesome.
She, generate tornadoes in her hands.
Yeah, I want to do that.
I just want to do that.
But again, that's the thing that is just... Literally, the sole purpose of that power is I want to kill a person. I don't want to kill a person. I don't want anything... I could probably kill someone on accident by flying. I could probably kill someone on accident while I'm invisible because I'd get reckless. But I don't want to purposely have a power that lets me kill... Or that would end up killing somebody. That would make me feel terrible.
I would stick with telekinesis.
Telekinesis I'd actually enjoy. But
even if there are combat, facets to telekinesis,
it's also just it's a utility. That you're right. That's probably the best hybrid combat and just life standard of living increase. That's a good power right there.
Because you could accomplish so much, and you could train your mind to.
Do you want it
things.
chronicle telekinesis?
Yeah.
Do you want it to be with the exact stipulations that you can get stronger all you want, but the more you expend yourself, the more it hurts your brain, and makes your nose bleed and shit, and your ears bleed?
Yeah, but I don't think that was necessarily detrimental to them because they didn't notice it when it was happening to them. It's just I think that was just growing pains, quote unquote.
2 of those characters didn't live more than a couple months after they got it. How do you know that the one guy, I can't remember his name, Brian, I think this is the kid's name, the one that lived? I don't remember what the character's name was, but they don't say anything about him 20 years later. What if his brain just becomes a tumor?
I think I don't know, they didn't really expound upon anything after that.
No, and
but he was fine at the end.
But that still wasn't very long after they got there. I would just be wary of anything that made my head hurt and made my face bleed. I would never, don't get me wrong, we saw that movie, it came out in February of 2012.
I think so.
We saw the movie when it came out, and then for half a year after that, all we wanted was the superpower from that movie.
That was 2012?
I think so. I was not homeless. I was unemployed at the time. But yeah, all I wanted was those powers because it made sense that you had to envision an invisible hand doing the thing that you wanted to do. But also I was I don't know, am I gonna have an aneurysm if I try to move a truck? Could you kill yourself by trying too hard?
You probably could kill yourself by trying too hard.
But I would immediately try too hard. I'm impatient. I would get the power, I would move a water bottle, and then 10 minutes later, I'd be trying to fly and push buses out of my way, and I'd die immediately.
I would not do that.
You would get 3 text messages that day. Holy shit! And an hour later, I think I have superpowers, and then someone would take my phone and text you and say Nathan had a horrible accident, and the accident would be my brain exploded because I tried to move a bus with my mind.
I think But I think the way it works though is the nose bleeding and like the ear bleeding and stuff like that. Obviously, it hurts and you get like a headache when you realize it's going on, and migraines too. But I don't think that necessarily means like your brain is gonna explode. I mean, your brain would explode if you, yes, immediately after you got the powers, you decided I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna try to move a bus. But I mean, if you work your way up to it like they did, I'd assume that everything would work out in the end. Because I feel like that stupid thing that gave them the abilities, it just made their brains evolve.
Would you?
Which they never even elaborated upon.
Yeah. Is Chronicle 2 still a thing?
They're trying to make it a thing. It's apparently supposed to be like way darker than the first one.
Is it the same guy?
So dark. Yeah.
So, are they gonna make it like?
What do you mean the same actor?
The same character?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like they just gonna like, because you'd have to just basically redo the story, but with a different like plot, like or with different like major plot elements. But you'd have to just be like, oh, they found the fucking thing and it turned them into psychics. I don't know how you could revamp the story. I'd like to see a continuation with what's his name. I really wish I remember that character's name. I think it was Brian, but that's not a useful detail. Would you ever take? Apparently, this is just a superpower episode. Would you ever take teleportation as a power? Like, if you had a choice of a couple powers.
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely.
Really?
What's the stipulation? What's the?
Well, I mean, like, it would probably be the standard. Like, you have to be able to see where you're going.
Ah, damn it.
And like, I don't know, because it could be like Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler had to see where he was going to be able to teleport there. Or it could be like shitty Jumper, where as long as you knew what the place looked like, you could teleport into it.
I would take Jumper.
I feel like Jumper's too cheap.
Yeah.
Like, that's God mode.
Nightcrawler's, though, it wasn't that he could see... Well, yeah, he could see where, but his was that he could actually, like, get to it.
That's what I mean. Like, it had to be a thing that he...
Because his was super speed.
Right, which is terrifying. Also, it sounds like it wouldn't be that fun. Because if it's super speed, then you still have to do the movement.
Yeah.
And, like, that's stupid. But then
unless your body does it by itself and, like, your mind just doesn't register.
If he actually... Because, like, when he teleports, he leaves the fog behind. If he just turned into fog and moved, that would be cool. And also, I think that's the only way it would work. Like, in the movie, he teleported, like, through a sewer grate thing. So he has to, like, turn into fog and move or something. But then in the stupid Evolution cartoon, he said that he couldn't teleport out of a plane onto the ground because it would just be like he was falling. So it's like, you turn into mist or you just moving really fast. Because I could teleport from a plane to the ground that same way. It's called jumping out of the plane and hitting the ground. It would just not take it would take longer for me to do that. So it's like, I need to figure out exactly what Nightcrawler's shitty power is and then figure out how it works. Like, it only makes sense he needs to turn into mist. Because then how the fuck did he get through the sewer grate? To save the kids, and then he made the kid throw up. And how did he teleport the kids?
I think he can I think he can turn people and things
into mist.
Yeah.
What if that fucked up really bad and like it combined weird? Like you recombined into a person with 3 arms and it's coming out of your chest.
God. They did something like that in one of those stupid time travel movies. I think it was called like Time Cop or something.
Time Cop.
I don't know. A guy. It was like one. I think it was a. There's more than one movie in that series, I guess. But it was one of those.
Never heard of it.
My uncle rented it a long ass time ago. I watched it, and there was a scene where a guy went to go visit himself in the past, and like the same matter is not supposed to exist in the same spot, or else like it fuses together. And he fused with his younger self, and it was the most disgusting thing ever.
I don't like that.
It was gross. And it was like, why would you visit yourself? And also, if the ability to travel through time was a thing, I would not do that.
I wouldn't either.
If seeing that scene in that movie has totally tainted time travel for me.
That's a useless power too. That's almost not even a utility power. Why do you go back in time? You go back in time to make your life better. That's like the most selfish thing.
Yeah.
You literally
go back in time to make your life better. Make your life better.
And make the lives of people you don't like worse.
Yeah. With the stipulation that now you can't like be anywhere near yourself.
Right. See, I would just be worried that if I went into the past and made my life better... Well, I don't know, time travel is a confusing thing, and I am not going to talk about it now. But what if I totally fuck myself after I do that, and then I don't have the power of time travel anymore? It's like, what that specific chain of events in my life brought me to having the ability to travel through time, and then I fuck it all up, and maybe I don't actually make my life that much better. I think I did, but I made it
stuck.
Made it just good enough that I don't get teleportation, time travel, and so I go back to my present self as some piece of shit whose life isn't really all the better for whatever I did, and I lost my superpower.
Also, you're much older.
I aged faster.
I would imagine that if you'd go back in time and then you've changed something, make your life better, but not that much better. But then that slight difference made it so you couldn't have the power. So you that went back in time got stuck in the timeline.
Okay, so I would get stuck in the past, and then I'd have to just keep living because time travel is confusing. Because the moment where I traveled back in time would have been erased, and then I would never be back in time. Fucking hate time travel. It's one of the worst discussions you could ever have.
Yep.
Plus, anyway, once I realized that you wouldn't travel to the same space, it became a totally useless thing. You literally just travel out into the middle of space and die. If I time traveled from right here to right here 10 years ago, the Earth would not be right here, and I would be dead.
That's why I came up with that one idea that's really sci-fi.
But
no, don't say it. I don't want someone to steal it.
Well, only original ideas here. Do not steal. Stop it.
God, that was so close.
It's
such a fucking cool idea.
I almost said the first word in it. The first word is space.
Shut up.
It's called the space blank. The space something. Figure it out. Don't. It's our idea. It's Jeff's idea. It's not mine.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna do something with it.
We're gonna write a movie. It's gonna be the thing that we can't say the word of. That's the title. Sorry, it's not a very good sell because I can't tell you the name because that would ruin the whole thing, and then they'd steal our idea, and we'd see a movie in 2016.
Anyways,
about
teleportation.
Boys. Teleportation, I would not take.
I
would take the shitty, overpowered jumper version of it, as long as I didn't know there were teleport cops trying to catch me while I jumped around. 2 reasons. One, that would be really stressful to have people chasing me when I teleported. But also, the jumper teleportation is, like, really dangerous. Like, you'd fuck a lot of things up when you teleport.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would just be super inconvenient.
There were a couple of cool things with the jumper teleporting.
Oh, like when the movie was over?
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
And
like
then,
when he had to see, he had like pictures of stuff, like pictures of places that he'd been to already. He had to have been there already, I think.
I don't think so, because you just have to see it. Because he went to he teleported the guy to like the pyramids. Because he had a picture of the pyramids.
If he actually like knew like in his mind like where it was and like latitude, longitude, and like if he'd actually been there before, like if there were those like types of caveats to teleportation, then it wouldn't be not nearly as overpowered as it was in the movie.
Right. I would want it to only be a place you've been to before. I wouldn't want to just be like, yeah, exactly what he did when he Samuel L. Jackson he teleported to the pyramids.
Yeah, you could either see where it is or like teleport to a place that you have already seen like with your eyes. Like if you were a kid driving like in the back seat of your car with your mom and dad and they drove past like this shed and this was like 12 years ago. Like if you remember that shed, you could teleport to that shed.
How close would you have to be to the thing to be able to teleport to it?
As long as you're able to see it.
Okay, so you couldn't like fly over a place on a plane and then be able to teleport there?
I mean, if you saw it over in the plane, you probably could. But I mean, you have to like that has to be like ingrained into like your memory.
Okay.
Like you have to know like where it is. Like you have to like for that shed, when you imagine going to that shed in this example, you basically have to call your mom and dad and ask, "Hey, where were we going when I was 10 years old? Like, what was that road trip that we were on?"
I wouldn't want that. I would literally just want to be able to imagine it, and that's it. I'd be like, that shed, and then I just go to that shed, and I'm like, where the fuck am I? And then I go back home. I want that, because that would be exciting, because, yeah, like, I have memories of places from when I was a kid, but I don't remember where it was. Like, I don't remember where these places were. So, like...
You go south of the border.
Like, I have this memory of somewhere in Georgia when I was moving to Mississippi, but it was nighttime, and I don't remember where in Georgia it was, but I remember it was by, like, this dam, and there was this, like, big, I don't think it was a mountain, but it was, like, a huge hill like right next to the dam, and there were houses on the hill, and I was like, I wouldn't want a kid to live there because they would just fall and die. I want to go back there and see what that's like, but I don't remember where it's at. I just remember that spot where the houses were, so if I could just be like that spot, and then I was just there, that would be pretty cool. But teleportation is stupid. I don't like it. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion. I'd rather just be invisible and go to the places I want to go at a normal pace. The only thing is, I don't think you'd be able to sneak onto planes.
No, I don't
Because
think
you'd have to walk through security still.
Well,
you could walk through like the roped off thing.
Yeah, you could walk around. You could like step over it. Then they'd see your dick.
Yeah, that's right. I would really have to figure out a strategic spot to sit where when my dick was visible, they wouldn't be like, hey, there's a ghost dick on the plane.
You'd have to have... Okay, so if one of us ended up with this power...
Right.
I want you to know that I would be fine with either of us going invisible for a long amount of time while the other person studied when the exact intervals our dick would show would be to tell us. But since we couldn't tell...
But that's the thing. It's not a set thing. It is random. It's random for when it's going to pop up, and it's random for how long it's going to be visible. It's never going to be like your dick's visible for a straight hour. It's going to be like your dick's visible for 30 seconds, and then who knows when the next 30, 20-second period is going to be after that. So
I imagine that would have to be tied to like your confidence or something.
No, it's not. It doesn't matter how hard you focus, how sure of yourself you are. It doesn't matter if you get hard or whatever before you do it. I don't know why that would matter, but it's random. It's unpredictable. You will never be able to find a pattern.
Do you guys see that hard dick going across the room?
Would you...
Oh, it's gone now.
Would you rather the dick be hard or soft?
Honestly, I don't want
I feel like
either.
seeing a hard dick would be really weird in its own way. Seeing a soft dick would also be weird. But I don't know, it's like...
You don't see the balls at all.
I know, and that somehow makes it worse. If the dick is hard, then you automatically think like, there's a horny ghost. Or my friend's invisible and he wants to fuck something. Like, those are the two things you think if it was us. And so I think what we'd have to do, and I hate this, and I really don't want to say this because, as you and maybe some other people know, we get accused of being gay and in a relationship with each other quite a bit.
Oh,
especially by girls that we're dating.
Oh boy.
I'm not going to name names here. But we would just have to get accustomed to each other's dicks. We would just have to. Not like I would just like they'd be like, "Hey, come over." And then when you were here, I'd be like, "Okay, I'm going to just take my dick out for a few minutes." Just so like it wouldn't be like that. It'd be like we'd have to come to an agreement that we're going to see each other's dicks.
I don't want to relive the last episode where I had to sun someone and they sunned me too. I was like, okay, on the count of 3, we're just going to unzip it and just pull it out. Is that what you were getting at?
Sort of. But yeah, we'd have to come to a mutual agreement that, you know, we'd have to sit down. I have to say, Jeff, let's say we both got this ability. Jeff, there's no way that we're not going to both use this power to do things together. Clearly. We're best friends. We both got this super fucking awesome power. We're going to go do fun shit with our ability to become invisible. And so, instead of having any unwanted surprises, I think that we should take the next few weeks, go invisible around each other, and we have to just get used to seeing each other's dicks. There's no way around it. It's going to happen. I'd rather it happen in a controlled environment where we can feel comfortable and it wouldn't be weird.
Honestly, in that situation, whenever we were done hanging out, I would want you to lock your door. I would want you to lock the hallway door so that you'd be more confident that I wouldn't just sneak up on you while I was
Oh, no. I didn't even think about that. Because once we got comfortable...
I would go to sleep and have I would make sure that all of my doors were locked. I would cover my doors.
That hallway door doesn't lock. I would only have this door. And I didn't even think about that because once we were comfortable with each other's dicks, then it wouldn't even be a big deal anymore. And yeah, we would play dick pranks on each other. Fuck, I did not think about that. Because
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm a better person than that. I wouldn't do that.
Nope.
But really,
I'm not.
I'm not. I know.
I'm absolutely not.
I know for a fact. Like, in my mind and out loud, I'm saying that I'm a better person. But deep down, I know if I had this ability, I'd be like, how can I trick Nathan into seeing my dick?
See, and that's the thing, is since we agreed that the ability would be anything you touch turns invisible, what I would do, really easy, I live about 2.5 miles from
I would turn your
work.
door invisible.
Ah, man, and then I just look and the door's not there, but your dick is. Oh man, that I didn't think about that either. But no, see, what I would do is, yeah, your work's about 2.5 miles from here. Simple walk. I can walk that. And what I would do is I would get in your car, and I would go into the back so you wouldn't see my dick, like when you got in the car, and I'd follow you into your house, and you sit down at your computer, and I would sit on your bed, and I would just have my phone or a book or something. And I sit there reading, and I just wait for you to turn and look at your bed and see my dick there. You're right. There's way too many dick pranks.
No, but the thing is, you wouldn't be. Well, this is just a small thing. You wouldn't be able to see the book if you were invisible, unless you picked up a book from my room while you were invisible, and.
Oh yeah, I guess
then I
that
look
makes
at my
sense.
bed and I see a floating book and also a floating dick.
Shit, I didn't think about that. That dick reading a book. Smart ghost dick.
Fucking dick.
He's very learned. Reading like a biology
Now,
textbook.
how much would this situation change if it wasn't our dick? Like, they didn't see our dick at all. They just saw our balls.
Balls, never mind. I'm not gonna say it. I'd be fine with people seeing my balls, I think.
I'd be a lot more fine with people seeing my balls.
My balls are normal. My balls are average balls. You wouldn't be able to pick them out of a police lineup.
Someone would go, like, if I just. Well, no, I'd be wearing clothes all the time, so never mind. No one would be like, it must be cold in here.
That's what I was about to say. Like, unless it was cold, but I would make sure to dress in bundles, because warm balls are safe balls. And yeah, balls would be okay actually. It would still take some getting used to with the two of us.
I don't want to see your balls.
I don't want to see. Well, okay. I don't know. We'd have to get used to it. Unfortunately, no matter what weird part of our body was visible, we'd have to get used to seeing it. Because I'm sorry, you're my best friend. If we both had this ability, even if one of us had this ability, I would want to know.
I think the thing that would be funnier, like the funniest thing, even funnier than having your dick exposed, was it was just your feet.
Just feet.
You're just looking and you just see.
That would be scary in a funny way.
Yeah, you'd be like, those are feet. Those
Fuck are
feet
these
aren't
feet
attached to
doing?
anything.
Oh man, that would be so awesome.
And the thing is, like, you'd probably be wearing shoes, so they'd be just slightly off the ground.
Yeah, it would look like I was hovering.
So someone would
Ghost
be like,
feet.
ghost feet.
Absolutely. I don't like thinking about ghost feet. I used to hear ghost feet in the haunted house I lived in.
Ghost feet and hands would be like, okay, Rayman's missing his body and head.
Fuck, Rayman's feet are on the loose.
That commercial with Rayman, where they turned everyone into, like, limbless monsters.
That was terrifying.
That was terrifying. And the CG was not caught up to that concept yet.
No. I don't like Rayman as a concept, honestly. He's scary.
Mm-mm.
And I made a good point with those Pokemon pictures, is that Haunter is essentially Rayman's ghost. Has little floating hands.
Gengar's my favorite Pokemon.
Gengar's a great Pokemon.
What'd you call him in that one?
Fat evil baby.
Yep, that's right.
Looks like a little fat evil demon baby.
Oh, we didn't talk about dogs.
We didn't. I think we went the opposite direction. All we talked about was shitting and dicks. I hate to say it, but
I'm sorry.
We're pretty much up on the end of the show now, so
yeah. Next episode we will probably talk about dogs.
We can have a little bonus discussion about dogs. There's not much to talk about, honestly. Well, I love dogs.
Dogs are great.
Dogs are my favorite thing in the world.
I like big dogs that think that they're lap dogs, and I like lap dogs that think that they're big dogs. And I just like lap dogs.
I'm more of a big dog guy, and I have my dad has
a couple big dog teas.
Yeah, I don't bust them out anymore except for special occasions like weddings or birthday parties. But my dad has a pit bull named Sugar, and she's a big baby, and she thinks she's a lap dog, and she has a tail that feels like a baseball bat, and she likes to, when I go to my dad's house, I sleep on the couch, like when I go to visit, and that's how she wakes me up. If she walks up, because the dogs, when I lived with my dad, they would always come up to my bed in the morning, and they try to get me to pet them. But what they would do is they'd put their face up against mine, and then they'd turn around so I could like scratch their butt because they like the back end of their body being scratched. And so Sugar will do that, but she'll forget to sit down because that's normally what they do. So she just turns around and just right in my face with her tail until I wake up. And it's not a pleasant way to wake up, but after a couple minutes, I'm okay with it. Like I'll start scratching her, and she'll remember to sit down. I could probably talk about dogs for a long time, but I don't think it would ever be funny. This would just be us sitting here for 2.5 hours, talking about all the dogs we like, how great all dogs are. It would just be how great dogs are, and I was talking about our dogs that we've had, and our favorite breeds. You know what? This is going to be our closing. I'm going to say my favorite breed of dog, and then you could say yours. I have 2 favorites, Golden Retrievers and Black Labs. What are your favorites?
My favorite is the helium puppy stuck on the ceiling.
Okay. That fucking video. Oh my god. I like the dog eating dinner.
I like dogs with human hands.
Yeah, dogs with human hands are fun videos. And you know what? I think that's a good lighthearted spot to end the show on. Jeff, did you think of shoutouts for today?
I didn't, actually. I was focused on flying and pooping.
Shoutouts to me. That's what happens when we don't get shoutouts, is I just shout out myself. Shoutouts to me.
Let's come up with some legitimate shoutouts. Do we have any? I don't have any new interactions, so I have no one to shout out to.
I have too many interactions. I don't know who. Shout out to all 300 of the people who followed me today. Thanks for that. You made me hit 3K, and now I have to name my firstborn Xbox. I really wish I hadn't said that and then uploaded the audio of me saying that. It's on the internet forever.
Shout out to you, Xbox.
Yeah. My future son or daughter. Yeah. I love you. You're gonna be a star. Don't worry about your name being Xbox. We'll come up with a cool nickname like Diesel or Motorcycle. That'd be way
cool.
Diesel's a cool fucking nickname, isn't it?
It is.
Unless it's a girl. And then
honestly, you could just call him X.
And then he'd be like, you ask him to bring me something, they'd be like, X gonna give it to you. Oh,
you wouldn't teach them that. They would just like instinctively know. They did the research.
Yeah, they know that anytime anytime you're gonna say something, you gotta say X gonna give it to you. And I'd be like, what? So say it over and over again.
Son, I'm proud of you.
I love you, son.
Or daughter.
What did I have to name my second-born anime? Shit, I forgot about that one. Xbox and anime.
Your first son should be Xbox, and your first daughter should be anime.
No, it's whatever gender. If I have 2 daughters, I'm gonna have a daughter named Xbox and a daughter named anime.
Oh man, you messed up there. You were
the mother of my children is not gonna be happy with how insistent I am. My dad tried to name me Thrash, so it runs in the family. My dad wanted to name me Thrash and wanted my middle name to be Nash, so my initials would be TNT.
That is.
And my mom said, "Fuck you! You are not naming our son Thrash."
Thrash Nash.
Yeah. And imagine if he had done that because he never had another son. He would have been stuck with that as his one son. You realize how different my life would have been if I was named Thrash Nash?
You would have been like an entirely different person.
We probably never would have met. I probably would have been on the high school wrestling team, I assume. I probably would have played hockey a lot more than I did, which was about once or twice. Probably would have really liked working on motorcycles, I assume. I like Metallica. I would have liked them a lot more than I do. Like, that would still be my favorite band, not just my favorite band from when I was 12 and younger. So, life's weird, man. I could have been named Thrash and we never would have been friends.
I like beagles.
Beagles are the lovable hobos. I said hobos. The lovable hobos of the dog world. Yeah, they're cute. When I lived in Mississippi, there was this homeless beagle that would come up and let me feed it, but then he would never like come into my house or let me take it to like the shelter. He would just run away as soon as I like opened my front door and tried to call him inside. He'd be like, nope, not having any of that. He was a drifter. Rambling on, I guess, like the Led Zeppelin song. Beagles are cool. Cheagles are the greatest dog ever.
Oh my god. I didn't even think about Cheagles. I didn't think about mixed breeds at all.
Oh my god. Cheagles. What is the
All right, this episode's over, Nathan. Go Google Cheagles.
Cheagles?
Yeah.
Hold on, we haven't outroed actually. We started talking about dogs.
I thought that was the outro.
We haven't told them who we are and what to do with us.
Oh, right. I'm Jeff.
I've been talking a lot about my dick.
And this is Thrash.
This is Thrash, Nash, Fright Shark. Follow us on Twitter. Don't follow me on Twitter. I've got enough.
Follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, if you're going to follow me, just follow Jeff instead. He's at Jafeman. And it's his favorite thing is to spell it.
JAEFMAN.
There it is. That's what everyone likes to hear. I imagine people tune in to listen to you spell your Twitter name.
Maybe.
Fuck the other 44 minutes of content in between.
When's he gonna spell his name?
You made them wait until the end. That's smart. You didn't spell your name at the beginning. That is a good move because people are like, ooh, maybe he'll remember halfway through and start spelling his username out
in the middle of conversation.
Yeah, just hold on a second.
So what would you do? What would you do if you had teleportation, Jeff? Well, JAEF. Jeff, stop. MAN. Well, I just I'd rob a bank probably.
Rob a lot of banks.
Why did you spell your name?
They need to know.
It escaped from me.
There's a shout out, Kumhonda. She calls you Jeff Man. She does not call you Jafe Man.
She's wrong.
There's our shout out. Okay, and on that you should follow us on Twitter and tweet pictures of dogs at both of us.
If you want a shout out, you should be our friend.
Yeah.
And talk to us.
Tell us you listened. We'll shout you out. We'll give you shouts outs. Shout out. We'll shout you out on the next episode of
We'll give you props.
Stinky Boy Show. Next week, I just want you to know, next week we're going to get serious about the name of this podcast. I've already got a couple real ones this time.
Okay,
that cool. I think are going to work. One or two of them I think that you'll really like, so I actually think we'll have a hard time picking because I was at work today and I was like, okay, I have a couple really good names for the show. This is a little teaser. I really think you're going to have a legitimately hard time choosing between two of the names I came up with. But I can't tell you until the next episode. So that's a fun teaser for everyone. Tune in next week where we figure out the name of our podcast. And we'll probably also have a set subject in mind that we won't talk about because we'll get derailed by whatever thing I open the show with. So thank you for listening. And keep doing it. And tell your friends. And tell your parents.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. I can handle someone seeing my dick every now and then.